What's poppin', my beautiful naturals, whom I love so very freaking much? Thank you so much for clicking on my video. Today we're going to be talking about how I retained 14 inches of new growth within the first 2 years of me being natural. Yes, it's definitely achievable. So, if you want to hear my tips, tricks, suggestions, everything that I basically did within my first 2 years, just keep watching. Alright, so before we really get started, I do want to go ahead and put like a little mini disclosure out there. I often get told that I'm lying about how I achieve my length, or I'm lying about my hair growing so fast, or I'm lying and I'm lying and I'm lying. Like, yo, I have no reason to lie to you. I don't benefit from lying to you. I don't get anything out of it. No one is knocking on my door to pay my bills because I'm lying about achieving so many inches of natural hair. If you don't believe me, that's perfectly fine. I will go ahead and link all my social medias down below. That way you guys can go back, take a look, see the little timestamps, because I don't have nothing to lie about. I don't have nothing to hide. I just want to share with you what I did. That way we could all be popping and all be like great naturals. Like, that's it, that's all. So, yeah, that was it. Alright, y'all, so I do have some notes on a piece of paper. I don't know why I didn't put it in my phone. I'm not quite the brightest crayon, so excuse me. But first thing I want to talk about is understanding the stages of being natural. This is very important when I say understanding the stages of being natural. There are 4 stages of being natural, which include the big chop and or transition, the awkward stage, the medium fro, and like the goals length. I'm going to go ahead and include a picture, that way you guys see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so on my little paper I've included some things that have helped me that I didn't know at first, and I probably could have retained more length if I'd known. So go ahead and pull out your little notepads and your pencils, because I'm definitely spilling the tea. Alright, so just to break down each category, the first one I said was big chop and or transitioning. This is going to be one of the, I wouldn't say hardest, but it's pretty challenging parts of being natural, simply because a lot of people don't want to walk around with short hair, or a lot of people don't want to do the protective styles, or a lot of people don't want to walk around with natural hair styles. I actually, personally, I felt that big chopping, I big chopped, and it was the best experience for me. That was when I felt the sexiest. It was when I felt the best about myself. I felt empowered. I felt just overall amazing, and that's my experience. Not everybody has the same one, but that's what it was for me. Big chopping or transitioning requires a lot of time. This is the most time-consuming portion of being natural, in my opinion, only because when I first big chopped, I had to deep condition my hair like 3 times a week. I had to co-wash daily. I had to moisturize daily. I had to really be on top of my TWA, because when I first big chopped, my hair was extremely dry. I don't care what type of curl pattern you have or hair type that you have, you will experience dryness the beginning of your big chop and or transition, just because it's fresh to your hair, it's new to your hair, so it's going to require more maintenance. This, to me, the big chop is really important because it allows you to understand your hair. You won't quite get to see your actual curl pattern or your hair type, but you'll get to know how to maintain it. You'll learn what products your hair does like, what products your hair doesn't like. It's really critical that you listen to your hair in the big chop stage, because your hair will let you know what it does and does not like. Meaning, if your hair is always dry with some new products that you're trying, or your hair is flaking, or your hair just isn't overall holding the moisture that the product is saying that you're supposed to get, you might need to try something different. Let's see. Also, people fail to realize that when you have a TWA or you're transitioning, it's very important to wrap your hair. People think that, oh, well, I have a little fro, so this is not going to hurt anything. My hair is not that long. I can go a day or 2 without wrapping. That's not true, because this is where the split ends start. This is where the damage really starts, because you know, you're rubbing your hair against the cotton or whatever else it is. And the last thing you want is to go into your awkward stage with split ends. Now, for the awkward stage, includes a lot of protective styling. I personally wore kinky twists, I wore weaves, I tried crochets, which definitely weren't for me. You know, like, I tried it, it wasn't for me. But this is where you really get to learn how to protective style your hair, because it's really awkward. You can't put it in a ponytail, you can't slick it down, your curls are like there, but it's like a Michael Jackson fro, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, it's cute, but it's not what you want. All right, so I'm going to include pictures on what I did. This was actually the first time I straightened my hair, and I only straightened like a little section for leave out, and I did experience some damage, so it was a wrap. Like, I had to trim that off. But overall, I enjoyed my awkward stage because I don't mind natural hairstyles, and granted, I did look crazy like 80% of the time because I didn't know how to flat twist and I didn't know how to braid, so I was just making it do what it do, and if you didn't like it, then oh well, you know? Also, you have to really learn to moisturize your hair, and it's going to show in the awkward stage. So if you really didn't get it how you should have when you were TWA, you didn't listen to your hair, and you didn't learn to grow with your hair, you'll notice that in the awkward stage. I didn't necessarily experience, well, I did experience it one time where I was using a product that just wasn't for me, but I was trying to force it on my hair. It was the Aussie Moist 5-Minute Miracle, and I was trying to force it on my hair, and my hair just wasn't having it. So I had to learn Shea Moisture, and granted, I did use Shea Moisture in my TWA phase, but I got to the point where I understood that consistency was key. And so I decided to do the same exact products for the rest of the year. I wasn't going to mess with anything else. I was strictly going to stick to that. Now, one of the main questions I get asked all the time are, what products do you use? What are you using in your hair? What is making your hair grow? What? And I had to learn this the hard way, but really, to retain length, the key is 80% is the method that you use, 20% is the product. So let me explain that. You can almost get away, almost, not always, but you can almost get away with using any product as long as the technique is there. 80% technique, 20% product. So, for example, the Loc Method. Any natural knows the Loc Method. If you don't know the Loc Method, you're doing something wrong, hun. Like, you really got to get the Loc Method down, because this is what seals in the moisture. This is what holds the moisture. This is what gives your curls the moisture and the hydration that they need. So, Loc Method is LOC. Liquid, oils, cream. Now, oils can be either the water, it can be your leave-in conditioner, it can be any product that the first ingredient is water. I personally would, for my leave-in, I would always use the Shea Moisture Coconut and Hibiscus Curl Milk. That worked for me. That's what I use. I would first apply that, then I would follow up with an oil, which could either be my extra virgin olive oil, my coconut oil, or castor oil. Castor oil I typically only use on my edges, just so that they can stay full. But yeah, so then I would follow up with my cream. The cream I used, and this was the regimen that I solely stuck to, was the Shea Moisture Curl Cream. No, what is it called, you guys? I will put it down below, but you know what I mean. So the Loc Method is what saved me 80% of the time, because any product, even if I was like away at my friend's house and I didn't have the hair products I needed, as long as I have the Loc Method, my hair would be okay. This is how you retain length. Listen to me when I tell you one more time, the Loc Method is how you retain length. Write it down. Okay? Next. Let's see. Oh, also very important to retaining length is getting rid of your towels. Now, when I say getting rid of your towels, is I don't ever at any point use a towel on my head. I don't do it. Why? Because it takes out all of the moisture in your hair. Towels are designed to dry. That's why we use it to dry our bodies, we use it to dry up messes, whatever. We don't want to take out all of the moisture in our hair. The key is to leave just a little bit of water in your hair. That way your products have something to hold on to, your oil has something to hold on to. That's the Loc Method liquid. So me personally, I use t-shirts, I use jackets, anything that's more of like a cotton consistency that won't completely dry my hair out. That's what I prefer to use over a towel. Also, another way to retain length, which is hard for some naturals but very important to me, is I finger detangle. And what I mean by that is I part my hair into 4 sections. I don't work with my hair as a whole. I don't work with my hair in 2 sections. I do 4 or more. I put my hair into the sections and I finger detangle. I don't use any styling tools. I don't use combs. I don't use brushes. I occasionally use picks to fluff out my hair, but I never actually drag it through my entire hair. As far as like my parts go, I just use a rat tail comb to get that part, and then I use my fingers to split it. I feel like I have retained the most length by finger detangling because I'm not using the combs to yank at my hair. The combs aren't ripping through my hair. The brushes aren't causing split ends. The best way to avoid things that will pull out your hair is to not use them. Next, a regimen. So like I was saying, consistency is key when being a natural. A regimen is very important. And I'm sure you've heard, create a regimen, create a regimen, create a regimen, create a regimen. Like, what is a regimen? You get what I'm saying? Is that what you're like, what the hell is a regimen? So basically a regimen is something that you do consistently. It's a schedule that you pick out for the week, for the month, however you choose to do it. I personally had a weekly regimen. So for me, what it would look like is Sunday I would shampoo, condition, deep condition with heat. When I say with heat, I just have like a hooded dryer that I bought on Amazon, and I would sit under the dryer for about 30 minutes. So that was every Sunday, and then I would style my hair. So back when I was like in the awkward stage, or even now, I'll put flat twists in my hair, I will put cornrows in my hair, I will put my hair in a style. Sometimes I even do the wash and goes. Now that my hair is longer, I can do the wash and goes. But I put my hair in a style that is guaranteed to last me till Wednesday or Thursday at the latest. Then, come Thursday, I will repeat that same process, but without shampoo. So I would do my deep conditioning, my Loc Method, which is very important before any style, and then I would style my hair for however it's going to last me again until Sunday. And so I understand that being natural is very time consuming. It does take a lot of effort. Before I actually had my daughter, I had plenty of time, so I was always doing my hair. But now that I have a child, I do understand that it's very time consuming and it's very hard to get done when you have a busy day. I'm a full-time mom.